Good day, citizens of the Printerverse. Welcome to Graph Expo 14. My name is David Murphy. I'm with HP's Inkjet WebPress division. It's my sincere and distinct pleasure to be with you on the internet and here on the show floor. We have a wonderful session prepared for you today. And when we look at the space of graphic arts communication or document management, or actually any kind of business model, you have two types of businesses. You've got innovators and you've got followers. The followers go with the pack. They go where the water is shallow. They stay where it's safe and warm, and they don't take many chances, and they typically aren't the most successful. And then you have the innovators. The innovators are the ones who see into the future, and they know how best to react to the coming changes ahead. They listen to their customers, they listen to the market, and they make strategic investments to address the coming needs of the market. Today is a wonderful opportunity for us to recognize the innovators among HP's WebPress, Inkjet WebPress group. Now, today we have 3 customers, and we have an award for these customers, and it's called the WOW Global Innovator Award. Now, yesterday when you may have attended our session, we told the HP Inkjet WebPress story. Today we're telling the story from our customers' perspective, and even better, I'm not telling it, our customers are telling it themselves. So you'll have the opportunity to listen to their strategies, their viewpoints, their perspectives, their experiences, and their views on what is happening in the print market and what it may mean to the marketplace in general. So we're going to have 2 parts here. We're going to recognize our global innovators, and then we're going to have a peek into the future, and stay tuned for that, because that is an intriguing and fascinating bit of technology that we'll introduce to you. So the WOW Global Innovator Award recognizes our customers who are doing unique, creative, and daring and wonderful things with print. Now, we have 3 customers, as I mentioned, the first of whom is Kent Larson. He's the VP of Print on Demand Division for Bridgeport National Bindery, a wonderful organization that provides publications to its clients. Another customer we're going to recognize is Documation, represented by Martin Alsma, who's the VP of Operations. He's going to tell you a little bit of his perspective on what's happening with Documation and his customers. And thirdly, we'll have Paul Gartner, who has the wonderful title of Director of Innovation. So we expect innovative things coming from Paul. So without further ado, I do want to first recognize and show appreciation to HP's customer of our HP Inkjet WebPress, Kent Larson from Bridgeport National Bindery. Kent?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you. Let's do a photo.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone here on the floor, and to all of you out there in the, was it the Galactic Empire, or whatever it is? I'll put this over here on the side. I was asked to give a few words about what Bridgeport National Bindery is, and why in the world we don't have the word printer in our name. And it's very interesting. Our company's history is best summed up by going back to the future. We are a company that has existed for 67 years. 67 years. What? Oh, hello. Sorry about that. There we go. Do I need to keep advancing it? All right. Now that we're good. All right. I'm going to be talking to the audience here, but I'm going to be looking at the audience in the Galactic Empire. As I was saying, Bridgeport National Bindery has been around for 67 years. It's a very stodgy, old-fashioned New England book manufacturer for one book at a time. Picture library books that need to be put together January through June issues. And picture those issues needing to go back to these libraries so that they would never fall apart. You cannot have Ivy League schools with their stacks of libraries falling apart after just a few years. So our whole operation has been geared towards high quality, high standards, and book manufacturing. Fast forward to the early 1990s, when we had this digital change and things started coming into printer world, such as digital files and short-run manufacturing. And we were the beneficiary of a lot of people who were getting into digital printing doing short runs. And back at that time, short runs were inconceivable. They were 500 books or they were 100 books. And over the course of the next decade, those run lengths kept coming down and down and down. And then it wasn't just black and white, it was also color. So as a result, in the early part of the 2000s, Bridgeport National Bindery became a manufacturer by investing in really innovating in software and getting involved with our customers' needs, who are sending us files to be able to print one book at a time. So what we thought was going to start out as black and white only quickly became color. And the first initial inroads to the HP world was through Indigo, and that was obviously in the world of photo book space, and that business, as many of you know, has just exploded because HP Indigo was really at the forefront of that quality and wanting to make sure that they set the bar as the industry standard for photo book quality. Well, along the lines of, along that way, in 2009, 2010, I don't know if many of you were at the at IPEX or at Drupa, IPEX in 06 or Drupa in 08, started hearing these things about inkjet and started hearing this concept of, you know, this big behemoth machine that was going to do inkjet quality, and it was going to get better and better. And that was something way in the future, if ever, for us, because quite frankly, our run lengths are literally one book at a time. If we get a run of 15 or 25, we see that as a long run length. And so what we do and where we have innovated is HP looked at us and said, my goodness, they're a small company in Western Massachusetts that has Indigos, but look at the market that they are serving that has such potential because of the one-off mentality. We think Bridgeport is capable of doing inkjet. They almost thought of it before we even thought of it ourselves. And so just a year and a half ago, when we kind of poo-pooed the idea, a year ago we made the decision to get into inkjet. And what we're doing now is taking these one-off books for toner, taking these one-off books for Indigo, and taking now these one-off books for inkjet, and producing them across all different platforms using Indigo, using inkjet technology. And the T230 that we've put in has been an amazing machine to get us to be able to do not only uncoated but coated stocks for one-off materials. And that is going into paperback books, it's going into hardcover books, and run lengths are literally anywhere from one book at a time up to, you know, several hundred or even a couple thousand if we get orders like that. But page lengths go anywhere from 20 pages to, you know, 1,200 pages, and that's kind of our model. So HP has been a huge assist for us, not only in their technology, but moreover, and almost more importantly, their support of us, their belief in us, and their awareness in the marketplace to really stretch some things. So here at the show, for those of you out there, you need to be here because there's some things here that we're seeing that we're living in the future 6 months from now that are pretty cool. So it's always good to attend places like this with your support partners like HP. So thank you very much.
That was inspiring. I love that. Our next global innovator is Documation. Martin Alsma, VP of Operations, come up and receive your recognition, please. Martin, congratulations. Thank you.
Do you want that? Or? Okay. I thought I was getting two. Okay. Well, gotta thank HP. Gotta thank everybody that actually is at Documation. Because awards like these don't get handed out because of anything we did, but because of the partnerships, and represents the relationships that we have with the people that work with us. So, Documation, 20-year-old company. I've been with them a little over a year and a half, and it started off as an association printer, and it was known for being America's association printer. We're doing kitting, booklets, journals for association. And the T230s, the first one was purchased actually before I was there, and the whole premise was to run book blocks. And I think the whole idea with inkjet was, well, okay, we can run limited quality on inkjet. And when I got there, we actually installed the second one because of our workload. And just look at them, we're like, well, it's still ink on paper. And I can't say that we did everything ourselves or we researched everything ourselves, but part of being innovative is to kind of go where no one else is going. Because if everybody's already there, then I don't really want to sit there. So we incorporated some help with Mary Schilling. Got to give her a lot of credit. The HP support. I got to say, I mean, the HP comes out of the woodwork. I mean, we have access to people on every level. Thank God for Rick, because he's got to keep track of them all. So Rick's kind of the manager, I guess, for us. But we really appreciate it because it's a proactive stance to the sport that we get. And what it's allowed us to do is, when I look at our industry, we try so hard to take the print out of the printer. All these digital units come out and we think, oh, you're going to hit the button and boom, hey, everything's supposed to look great, but there's still print science to it no matter what we want to, try to tell ourselves. So a lot of the quality we've been able to do has allowed us to grow direct mail. And in the future, we see a huge opportunity for us there. We've been able to get into real heavy coverage, high quality books. So we're not just printing, type and, highlighted type. There's actually samples floating around here that keep disappearing. I think there's one. So the thing floats around is, we're able to get it to dry. And it's a lot of brain work between, the great staff that we have, between Mary and between everybody at HP. We've been able to do stuff that nobody thought possible. So, that's kind of where we're at. Our future, like I said, is direct mail, high quality books. We don't limit ourselves to that. We just install the inline UV, and we're able to print on uncoated very well. You see actually a lot of our samples at the show. We print on coated, gloss, matte. We'll try anything. In fact, our team here can attest we print on NCR. So, it's not ideal, but we do it. So we'll try. You give us anything, we'll try it. Like I said, I'm big on relationships with our vendors. I can give you names of vendors that are just reactive. They sell you something, and all of a sudden, boom, they disappear, and you don't hear from them until something goes wrong, and that's 2 days after you put the call in and give them the call number, whatnot. The relationship we have with HP, it's probably Saturday night. I could probably texting our sales rep, and in fact, lately, I called him, and he's on a motorcycle, so I don't know if I almost got him killed, but he stopped and picked up, and we got great response time from our people. We have a guy that comes on site as needed, and it's a technology that I think in the next 3 years we're going to move a lot of our commercial print over there. It's allowed us to do, it's given us huge capacity from coming off a digital sheet fed and conventional. It's given us a huge quality that people didn't expect. And for example, we're doing 100,000. We could run 2,000 pieces. We could run up to 450,000. Full color, offset quality. We're running a piece that's at that 450,000 mark. That every run is 4 to 6 pages of variable images, variable data, and no one else can do that right now. Well, other than these guys. And but yeah, the whole thing about innovation is staying ahead of the ball game. You ride this wave and reinvent yourself every 3 to 5 years. So I just want to thank HP and just a great amount of R&D they put into the technology. So there's no technology is perfect. That's what I keep telling everybody. But you go with the people that are going to stand by you and stand by their products. So thanks everybody. Appreciate it.
That was very inspiring, Martin, and really it's a testament to our great partnership the kind words that you said, so we're appreciative of you. Our third global innovator, our WOW Global Innovator today is Paul Gardner, who's the Director of Innovation for Hudson Print. Paul, welcome.
Thank you, David.
Congratulations.
Beautiful.
With the plaque?
Yeah, with the flag. With the flag. There we go.
Thank you. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you, David. And thanks to HP. I've had a long, wonderful relationship with HP that dates back to when they first acquired Indigo. I joined Hudson Printing about a year and a half ago. Hudson Printing is a 105-year-old commercial printer that is working to reinvent print. And the younger brother in the family bought it from his older brother who retired, and a few months later his Indigo sales rep, his HP sales rep Evan Heiss, introduced Paul Hudson and I, and it took us a few weeks or a few months to get together and figure out if we could really work with each other. Paul came from an offset print background and had just purchased an Indigo prior to the two of us meeting. So when Evan called me up and said, you ought to go meet Paul, I thought, why would I do that? I've known this printing company my whole life. They've never done anything different ever, except to replace one old web press with a new web press. And Evan said, no, they just bought an Indigo. You got to go talk to them. So I did. I got involved in the conversation with them, and my background has been around digital for the past 15 years, and found very quickly that Paul had an appetite for truly doing something different with his company. And so he hired me to join the company, Director of Innovation. Everybody else in the entire organization thought he was crazy, and he probably was. There was no innovation going on in that organization. And today it is a very innovative company, thanks in large part to the help and assistance and guidance and coaching and the insight and the technology that HP brings to the table. So as Paul and I and his senior leadership team sat down and started mapping out the strategy that, now we got this crazy, disruptive, innovative guy on board, what do we do with him? We looked at one of two things. We had done nothing but heat set web offset printing for over 35 years out of that 105-year history. And during that time, we had become really, really, really good at one thing, and that was saying no to our customers. So if they called up and they needed business cards, the answer was no. You need 1,000 brochures? Answer is no. You need a banner? Nope, we don't do that. And so our first priority was to create an opportunity to say yes to our customers more and more frequently. And the Indigo was helping us to do that, but we needed to go faster. We needed to not just iterate on that. We needed to disrupt the status quo and get our customers to see us in an entirely new way. And so as many of you out there in the printerverse might imagine, there's probably not a more disruptive looking device on the planet. If you haven't seen it, get on the HP website, take a look at it. That 30-inch inkjet that HP makes, it looks like it belongs here in the printerverse. It's a beautiful, gorgeous machine, and once we installed that, our customers started seeing us in a very different manner. But the process that led up to that installation and that decision was a very interesting one. When we first approached HP and said we're interested in inkjet printing, they said, no, you're not. And we said, no, really we are. And they said, no, you're not. We know you guys, you do web offset printing, you got a little bit of Indigo, you're not keeping it real busy. That's a big purchase, it's a big investment, it's a high volume machine, and if you're not prepared to run high volumes through that machine, it's going to be a very, very long road and a very difficult road. So HP spent the better part of 2013 telling us we really didn't want an inkjet press yet. We needed another Indigo, maybe a 10,000 Indigo or something that was a little less disruptive. Along the way, Evan introduced us to everybody in the inkjet world for HP. We must have had 24 different visitors come to Hudson and see, what are these guys about? Is it really safe? Probably the wrong word. Is it the right thing for us to sell on an inkjet press? We don't want to hurt them. And so many people walked in, looked at the business, talked with Paul Hudson, talked with myself and the others on the leadership team, looked at our business plans, and tried to get inside our head and figure out what we were about and what we were doing. We kept telling them we're a commercial printer, and they kept telling us, no, we really sell these things primarily to book printers and binderies. And we sell them to transactional printers and folks who already have demand for this machine that's maybe being run on another device. That's where we've sold most of the devices. We kept telling them, yeah, but we want to do commercial print on it. We want to move things off of our offset web presses and run them on inkjet because it makes more sense. We want to get deeper and deeper into variable data. At that point, we weren't doing very much of that. But finally, last September, we got to a deal. We bought the first in the world, we call it an HP T330 inkjet press. because HP worked with us very closely to figure out what these crazy guys in Salt Lake City needed to do with that press, and it came down to drying and remoisturizing on most of the existing configurations wasn't adequate for the kinds of crazy things we wanted to do. So they built the thing for us, they got it in, they got it installed, and it has completely revolutionized the way our customers look at us and the kinds of things that we're able to do to take care of them. So in just the short space of a year and a half, we've gone from being best in the world at saying no to maybe being maybe one of the top 200 or 300 in the world at saying yes, right? We've got a long ways to go to get to where Martin is with his business, where Kent is with his business in terms of the kinds of things they're doing, but it's a wonderful path, it's a wonderful technology. Appreciate the recognition and the support and the help from HP, and just thrilled to be part of the Printerverse and part of the HP family. Thank you, David.
Hi. You might notice I am not David Murphy. We are a very slim, agile, versatile team in the Inkjet WebPress group at HP, but there aren't a lot of us, and David has been double, triple, and quadruple booked for this entire show. So he all of a sudden got pulled to a meeting that he had to run to. So it's no disrespect to you guys. He's just trying to sell the next press, right? I mean, this is how this works. So he asked if I would be the person who then bridges the rest of the event. Don't let the TR fool you. I actually am part of the Inkjet WebPress group. So what I'd like to do, Sandy has actually been gathering a few questions in off of the web, but we also have this great services demo that we want to do. So what I think I'd like to do, if we can, is Hanny and Hiki, can you guys come up and start to set up your demo, and we might take a couple of questions while you're doing that, and then we can come back around and take questions for everyone at the end? Right. So, Sandy, I think you have to come up here because we have this and he's busy.
Okay.
So, while they're setting it up, you want to just tell me what the questions are?
Okay. Okay. The first question, someone from the audience wondered how, in bringing a vendor in so closely with what you're doing, the trust factor and the proprietary information element, and how you handle that, especially because, as Martin said, you're somewhat competitors, or at least you're leaders in your field. Start here.
I think the best thing about I like what Martin said about when we're innovators, you're going where no one else has gone, and so there is a bit of whimsy that's involved in that. There's a bit of I don't know, we're just making this up as we go along to that. There's a little bit of just, I guess you could say it could be fear, but it becomes very almost just exciting to sit in a room and talk about ideas. And it becomes something where you say, can we do this? Does it make sense to try it? Let's do it. And are there others that have done something similar to us that kind of advances it? And so HP as a supplier has been really helpful in bringing ideas to us, or saying this is something that's going on in the marketplace, but maybe in a different area. Maybe it's in direct mail. We're not in direct mail, nor do we ever see ourselves in direct mail. But in books, that application in direct mail could be found in our application. So I think the most important thing that we have learned is that it makes so much more sense to be open. In today's day and age, it's not about keeping a closed shop. It's about being open and willing to discuss best practices, because the conventional to digital is just going to sprawl. And there's no way one company's going to want to do it all. I don't want to do it all. So it's always better to talk about best practices with not your competitors, but with your friends. And it becomes that.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I mean, I've talked to a few customers over the last 2 days, and one of the big thing is, we're not trying to keep secrets. I mean, you guys probably have had the conversations with HP. They'll give you, well, so-and-so is doing this, but, I can't really tell you what exactly it is. But, here's an idea, and you can go, kind of search for it. There's a little bit of that, but there's also, the willingness to, I could, send Paul a message and say, hey, you know, what are you doing about drying or something, and you know, he can send me in the right direction. So now we have some things we're doing. You know, I always tell people, well, here's kind of our workflow. Can't really give you the full secret sauce, but you know, it's a little bit of fun competition. But in the end, we're here to help each other out. So it's you know, print industry is a small family, and we all seem to get recycled through here. Hopefully not too many times, but but yeah, it's all about the relationships.
Well, I think that's a great question, and it's one that I've struggled with throughout my career in digital print. And I think, you know, if you roll back 10 or 15 years, you couldn't be in digital color printing without being a little bit innovative. It just didn't work. Too many things went wrong too often, and if you didn't have people around you who help figure out what's going wrong and how to solve it, and people you could call and ask those kinds of questions, you didn't survive very long. So I've been raised, I guess, in the thought process that it's better to share than to try and hide or keep something secret. And a wonderful man I worked for once, Kevin Despain, when I would express to him that why are you bringing people through and showing them all the secrets of your company, he told me two things. One is I've never met anybody that I can't learn something from. And everyone that comes here is teaching me something. And we opened our doors and we'd show it to our competitors. We're doing the same thing today at Hudson Printing. Our commitment to HP as we went down this path is we will be open and we will share. And 4 or 5 of our closest competitors have been through Hudson Printing, and a couple of them are looking like they're going down the path of inkjet press acquisition. So the other part of that is that if somebody tries to copy where we are today, God bless them, I wish them well, but by the time they get it figured out, we'll be somewhere else. So I don't see a lot of risk there, and I see a lot of potential. It's so hard to innovate if you try and do it all from within your own skull. I don't care how smart you are. I'm probably, you know, the 4 millionth smartest person in the neighborhood, and there are a lot of smarter guys right here with me. I need help learning. So the risk is worth it.
Thanks, Paul. And for those of you who don't know, Paul is the second most disruptive person in print. There's still some debate about who the first one is. He runs one of the greatest LinkedIn groups. You need to follow him if you're not, because the thought processes are just crazy. No, it's good. It's a good group. Yeah, I know. But poor Misprint Media Center over here is debating it, I'll say. All right, so what we'd like to do is we want to thank, first of all, these 3 gentlemen for coming and spending some time with us, because if you come to our booth, we're in 1913, you will see all of their work in our booth, because this year we brought their work. It was the right thing to do. And in fact, if you look along our racks and our butterfly racks, you'll see some of the coolest stuff that anyone has ever produced on inkjet, and it all comes from these gentlemen, which we really love. Now, what we'd like to do is stop for a moment, let these guys get up and get something to drink if they'd like, but ask them to hang out right here if you would, because we're going to move to the second part of our program, which is with the lovely, charming, and adorable Mr. Henny Manawi, who is part of our services team. And if you have not been part of the huge crowds hanging out in the HP booth, seeing our demo that uses some really great wearable technology to create a different kind of service environment for large inkjet web presses, you have missed an amazing show. We couldn't bring the whole live show with us down to this venue. We brought the actor, right, the star of our show, who is actually an HP employee, right? He's not a paid actor. He just plays one on TV. And we're going to turn this over to Hanny so he can take over. And then when Hanny's done, we'll be happy to take some more questions. So, guys.
Great. Thank you, Pat. And unlike Pat, I am not wearing a tiara.
Yeah.
But I am wearing and going to wear a really cool tool that HP is using in our graphic solutions services to help the customer experience. So innovation is at the core of what we do at HP, as you know, and this thread of innovation goes through our hardware products, our software products, ink, media, etc., and especially in services. And at Graph Expo 2014, we are featuring or highlighting two key technologies or solutions that we're offering our customers to help really increase and improve the customer experience and increase production time. And it's the virtual remote guidance tool that Pat mentioned, that we're giving a live demo at our booth, and also our predictive press care. So we have because we can't do the live demo here, we do have a video to show you the functionality that we've developed, and we hope you enjoy it. Hi, I'm Hanny. I work for the HP Inkjet WebPress Remote Care Center. I want to show you a real exciting innovation that we're using to enhance our support delivery. One cool example is Google Glass. When customers call in via wearables like these, we can quickly and easily help them to resolve their problems while they remain hands-free to follow our instructions.
Okay, Glass. Call HP support.
Excuse me a moment. That'll be a customer calling in for remote support. Look how quick and easy it is to use HP My Room to speak to a press operator. If you'd like to step into my virtual office. HP Inkjet WebPress Remote Support, this is Hanny Minawi. How may I help you?
Hi, this is Martin calling from Print Universe. I'm having a print quality problem.
Okay, so can I take a look at your user interface, please?
Yes, of course.
This is a perfect opportunity to demonstrate exactly what I'm talking about.
Are you talking to me?
Oh, no, sorry. I'm talking to the audience in a presentation, but don't mind them. We're good to go.
Okay, well, look at the vision system. Do you see the problem here? Here's the print head plot indication. Look, I need this urgently. Customer account manager is calling every 2 hours to check on delivery times.
No worries, Martin. I'm with you. We'll find out exactly what's causing the problem, and we'll solve it together. Have you tried wiping the printheads using printhead servicing?
Yeah, I've done that. It didn't solve it. That's why I called you guys.
What sort of paper are you running for this job?
It's HP approved, if that's what you mean.
Just trying to rule out the possibilities. Poor media can affect pen health, dust, etc. So let's check for wrinkles, just to make sure it's not media-related problem. Aha! See that? See this line? That's it. It's streaking.
So it's not media related. It must be the printhead, a black one.
Or the electronics.
Oh man, don't tell me we're going to have to change the printhead in the middle of this job. It's going to make my production manager really happy.
Well, first let's try swapping out the printhead with another one on the same bar. You know how to do that, right?
Yeah, but I haven't done it since operator training. This press has been so reliable.
No worries. I'll take you through it one step at a time. I need to take a closer look at the printhead, but be sure to hit the Prepare for Printhead Replacement button. Then you can open the arch.
Okay, I'm doing that right now.
What I like about this technology is that it enables me to increase the operator's hands-on experience so that the next time he has this issue, he can solve it himself. So now that we followed the startup calibration, we know exactly what printhead to swap. Okay? Great. So let's have a look at the print bar. You just passed it. That's it. Now tell me this isn't fun.
This isn't fun.
Very funny. Now I'm taking a capture of the printheads. Okay. I'm marking up the heads to swap to help you identify the correct ones, and I'm sending it to you, so let me know when you get it.
Okay, got it. Thanks. Now what?
Now, take that printhead that I marked. That's the one. Great. Now swap that out with the one outside the print area that I marked for you. But just remember, when you get this job done, we'll have to go back and re-examine that printhead. You're doing great.
Hey, well, thanks to you.
Okay, we're done. Now close the arch and restart the press. You notice how the technology enables us to exchange images and video? That's a great enhancement to our support capability and cuts the recovery time dramatically. Are we there yet?
Just have to reset.
Okay, so let's see if that solved it.
Okay. Restarting the press and waiting for the print to reach the rewinder.
Okay, let's go look at the print quality.
Looks great. Wow, okay, we're back in business. Thanks a lot.
Glad to be of help. Actually, there's one small favor you can do for me.
Name it.
Do you speak any other languages?
Sorry, no.
Good. It's just I want to show my audience the automatic translation feature that's embedded in HP My Room.
Be my guest.
¿Qué equipo crees que ganará el próximo Mundial de Fútbol?
Which team will win the next World Cup?
Did you get it?
Yeah, you just asked me which team I think will win the next World Cup.
So you see how easy it is? I can communicate in my native language, and it's automatically translated into the operator's language.
That's easy, the US, of course.
Okay. Well, as you can see, with the new features of HP My Room and wearables like this, or any other Android device, customers can enjoy a whole new level of support with faster root cause analysis and issue resolution. And we all know what that translates into.
Maximized uptime, more productivity, and bigger profits for customers like us.
Right. And thanks for calling HP Graphics Solution Services. And thank you for watching. Great. Thank you. So I think we have a couple of questions that came in online.
Were there any questions from the audience here before I take some from our social media folks? Okay. First question, how are customers adapting to and responding to the Google Glass support?
Well, right now we piloted Google Glass and the functionality of Google Glass support. We're integrating it into our support solution with some select customers, and the response has been extremely positive, as you can see. I mean, this is a live scenario that we've tried to convey here. So as we develop, continue to develop, it's not just around Google Glass, but it's our own solution, which is HP My Room, and the functionality that's built in there. So you can use Google Glass or any other Android device, like I mentioned, but the response has been great for the customers that we've been working with.
Okay, and the next question, this is kind of a broader question for either one of you. You talked about predictive
press care.
Predictive press care. Are you using predictive technology in any other areas at HP?
Within imaging and printing, or?
Whatever you want to cover.
Yeah. So within I mean, when I think about greater HP, I think of enterprise, for example, enterprise service, and there's a lot of different organizations within HP that are implementing predictive type support for our customers, whether it's on enterprise or PC. What we're doing within Graphics Solution Services is focusing on helping customers identify any particular issues that may arise and helping to address those issues before they become a problem and before they bring down the equipment and cost the customer money and downtime.
Well, I just want to say our folks at home were really impressed with this, and some of them saw yesterday and really enjoyed the video. So
excellent. Thank you.
And we do have some questions if David comes back or if you want to answer later, but I want to let you get along with your show.
So, Hanny, I want to thank you very much. I'm going to turn this one off so we don't do terrible things. I have three of the most amazing customers in the universe in the team from Bridgeport, the team from Documation, and the team from Hudson. We are just so thrilled that they were willing to come and share what they know. We try to do this every year, and the best practices part of it is sort of one of my favorite things to do. Again, I hope that you'll have a chance to come and see the fruit of their work that we have hanging in our booth. It's really quite amazing. I want to thank again Hanny and the team from our Solution Services group. Just absolutely amazing what they've done with the wearable computing solutions, and we think sharing that is really important to us. So the last thing that we would like to do is invite all of you to come back to our booth 1913, where it is in fact the night for the Inkjet WebPress group to be the host of the HP Happy Hour. So between 4 and 5, come have snacks, come have a drink on us, come have a chair. And sit down if it's time for you to do that for today. Or we'd be delighted to talk to you here as well. So we would like to thank you for your attention. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for the live stream. Thank you to the Printerverse for hosting us. And hopefully we'll see you this time next year. Thanks.
No, don't forget. That would be bad. You need to have that.